Hey, Max here, and I got a hot topic to talk to you Star Wars fans about. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about today because some interesting news just hit the internet about a new series of Star Wars films. But first, gonna give a disclaimer. Warning! This video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a Mad Max. And I am mad. Not because of the announcement, because of the timing. And it's so preliminary. Kathleen Kennedy is doing this to save her own hide. Again, when things are most divisive about the fan base, there's so much doubt on the Star Wars universe, they announce a preliminary, very early announcement about a new movie. When there's so much doubt, and what we're going to get with Solo is very up in the air. I don't believe they got it right. So it's a day after the Solo trailer is released. So just keep that in mind. Put that in some perspective. Marketing is all about timing. Man, Solo must think. Think about the timing of this announcement. They had to pay big bank to get D.B. Weiss and David Benioff away from HBO. Their series, this is their series, they are just finishing up the final series of Game of Thrones. This will take away years of their lives, and they are at the top of their game. They got them right after the final series, so they probably had to pay top dollar to get them away from HBO. And that Disney streaming service, oh my, Disney wants everything. Now, it's very possible they're making 2 series of movies, but I don't think so. I think Rian Johnson is in ruins. And think about the last month of Star Wars drama. Now, I also think this, if they're saying series of movies, these are going to be theatrically released. I also find it interesting that they did not get these 2 for the live action series. I think they may have had talks with them before, but they really paid them what they were worth because of all the drama in Star Wars. I don't know if this would have came out if it wasn't so divisive right now. Holding back the trailer a day after the announcement is we get this new announcement of a new series. Notice they also said series and not trilogy because they do not want people to jump to conclusions. But that's what I'm here for. When have they ever announced a series and not a trilogy for Star Wars? They haven't. They are in the process of making Star Wars stories in trilogies. Now, it is possible they could go a new direction and then they can milk it till it's dry. The quality may be there at the beginning with these 2, and they just keep going so they're not stuck in the trilogy making business. But right now, I think that they want to stick with something that they had right in the past. I think it's for trilogies. With so much uncertainty with the Star Wars movie universe, what executive would give the go-ahead for 2 trilogies and standalones at the same time? Not a smart one. And besides the timing of the announcement a day after Solo, it's from Kathleen Kennedy herself. She did not come to the defense of Rian. That's another reason I think he's done, or it's on hold. She sacrificed him to the wolves to save herself. If this works out and is a series critics and fans like and love, she may have saved herself. But it might be a moot point because I'm also working on a rumor and theory video about the future of Lucasfilm and of Kathleen Kennedy. So what I really believe is happening, or my opinion and theories on what the release schedule is going to be, is that rumors about filming starting this summer in Scotland is for JJ's Episode 9. I think we may get also an announcement before Solo's released about a new standalone, which I think will be Obi-Wan. So I think Episode 9, Obi-Wan in 2020, and 2021, the D.B. Weiss and David Benioff Episode 1 of their series. So I may be wrong, but I really think Rian is on the back burner. And I'll get more to that in my prepared video later on. Also, remember how Kathleen announced the Rian Johnson trilogy extremely preliminary at the opportune time when, and I'm going to remind you of all the shenanigans they pull with announcements at Star Wars, just like WB with the DC Universe. Just announcing it to announce it. Take off the heat. She announced at the end of that by the end of summer, towards Star Wars Celebration, that there would be an announcement for a standalone new Star Wars story, and that didn't happen. The firing of Lord Miller and reshoots for Solo, the trilogy was announced right when she needed to take heat off her for that debacle. And to artificially show confidence in a movie that they may have known was divisive. And also, I think they knew, and that's why they came crawling back to JJ. Remember, JJ said he was not going to make another one, and he didn't get along with Kathleen. Also, they had to pay a hefty fee for JJ from Paramount. And they're paying a hefty fee here, too. My opinion is they did not really want Rian for Episode 9, but announcing that JJ would direct 9 without having a follow-up announcement for Rian would have cast so much doubt on the movie. Whereas the way it was announced, it overhyped the movie, and that's really why we're so divisive, and I think people that have problems, like myself, with The Last Jedi are so loud about it, because they overhyped The Last Jedi. Now that we covered the recent news and rumors, I'm going to go on to the portion of the video that was previously prepared, and I will give that shout out at the end. This video is because of a viewer comment, and if you will have an idea for a hot topic and you want me to cover, I will look at all your comments, and hopefully we'll get a nice one and a new shout out in the future. This is originally what my thumbnail was going to be, because I still think it's on hold, but when I was preparing this, I think everything was on hold until after Solo box office comes in. I really believe there's no way they can start a whole new trilogy for Rian Johnson. It would have to be the dumbest move Disney can make. The stakes are too high. Division among fans, the proof is in the pudding with the toys and merchandise. No one is attached to these characters. Next time you get someone who is a McDisney fanboy praising Last Jedi and everything Disney does, ask them where they keep the Rose action figure. No one has that figure. They are all on store shelves. No matter how much Disney spends marketing magic, you cannot hide what is happening at retail. Toys, dolls, and merch is sitting, killing retail stores that all bet big on The Last Jedi. You can't hide this junk. Last Jedi Rose figures need a spot next to Atari ET cartridges in a landfill. And look at Mark Hamill's face. I was very excited when the announcement came out earlier, but then I sat and I thought about it, and I'm like, oh, don't get so excited, because this is typical Kathleen and Lucasfilm and Disney. Now, I think you should go ahead with this planned series with David Benioff and the HBO creators of Game of Thrones. I think it's a good plan, but it's still a ways off, and it's damage control. Look at the time they're releasing it. You got to pay attention to this stuff when they make announcements. Let me see. Kathleen is not helping Rian, and you know what? I'm really speculating here, but you know how much Rian has been on the internet fansplaining every single choice and direction? He had his friend Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but he had him write a 2,000-word essay explaining Rian's direction with Luke Skywalker. That seems desperate to me, and if you were very confident, you would say, tell your friend, you know what, don't release this, it's not necessary. That's my opinion. I think he suddenly has a lot more time on his hands. His trilogy is on hold. The essay from Joseph Gordon-Levitt was desperate and shows that fan reaction is affecting him, and he is still fansplaining. There was just another article early February. His movie came out December 15th. And then Collider just released an interview he did last week, a 70-minute interview. So how does he have this much time on his hands if his trilogy's moving forward? I don't see it. And he can't handle the pressure. He deserves every bit of this backlash. What fan goes up to Mark Hamill and does not get his opinion on where to take his character? I cannot see a real fan doing any of this. And then the nerve to say we don't understand or cannot accept change. I said it before and I will say it again. You want proof there is shows in entertainment news and reviews? I have never seen such an organized attempt to attack fans and discredit them. And then how come it's so easy and acceptable for entertainment news to publicly dump on George Lucas's prequels, but it's not okay in you're toxic and you're racist or a male chauvinist if you have a problem with The Last Jedi. So that's another issue. I'm working on another hot topic about that exclusively. How it's okay to completely throw garbage and say the prequels are the worst, but if you talk about The Last Jedi, you're being overly negative. Every single critic here on YouTube, the ones that show for Disney and say how great The Last Jedi is without really thoroughly addressing the problems, they all dump on the prequels. So what's the difference there? It's Disney. That's my opinion. I don't think the trilogy's happening. I think Lucasfilm is scrambling. Now, this was also, keep in mind, I prepared this before this, but I still think they're scrambling. And everything but Episode 9 in the live-action TV series, along with a new animated series, is on hold. So I think, before this, when I was preparing it, I thought that everything's on hold till after Solo's box office, with just Episode 9 starting, the live-action and the animated series for the streaming service, which would make sense. I've kind of changed my opinion now that this new series of films is being produced, that I think Episode 9, I'm really hoping, and the right thing to do would be do the Obi-Wan standalone, because that's a winner. If there's any other standalone you need to do, it's Obi-Wan, and do it while Ewan wants to do it, because you do too much further with these McDisney movies that people don't like, he's not going to want to be attached to it either. Let me see here. Okay, do you think there's more division than ever? Think about Batman v Superman. And the WB was forced to put their plans on hold until after Justice League. I thought when preparing this video, I think they had no choice but to wait. I also think it could happen, but they're gonna wait to go forward until after Solo. Okay, now to wrap this up. Okay, Episode 9 starting filming. I prepared that. When I was preparing, I really was thinking that Obi-Wan was going to take the place of the trilogy. But now with the new news, it's the Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. That's what I think is going to take place. Oh, I forgot I included this because I wanted to give you viewers a chance to say what you want to see on the next hot topic. Here's some ideas I was working on. Updated rumor talk on Kathleen Kennedy. Maybe that will go to the top of the list based on her recent emergence into social media to announce this new series of movies where she did not come to the aid of Rian Johnson at all. And I think that is really telling. Read a lot into that. She did not help him at all. And he's fansplaining everywhere. No one helped him except his friend writing that essay. And then McDisney. Do you want to see a hot topic just on why we consider them McDisney films? The generic factory line produced films that are just need to be on the menu every year instead of waiting for quality. And let me see. Oh, I also have my final thoughts. This was a preliminary announcement. The Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. There's a lot of money Make no mistake, they paid a lot for them. And they are in demand. They are probably the most in demand on the market right now for directors and creators of a series, film, whatever. They're very in demand. They sniped them from HBO. That would have to take a lot of money. The Star Wars movie universe is still on shaky ground. This is the right approach, though, if they actually get it started and follow through. This is the talent we need to make Star Wars movies. This is what fans deserve. Do you think this would have happened? I have some questions for you viewers. Do you think this would have happened if everyone was on board with Solo and The Last Jedi? And do you think this Rian Johnson trilogy is still happening? My opinion is it's not, but I want to know what your opinion is. If you think that the Rian Johnson trilogy is going forward, can you realistically have two trilogies going at the same time? Because this means simultaneous trilogies at the same time is the worst thing to do to the general public. 1 year go to the episode 1 in the first trilogy. Next Christmas holiday, there's the sequel, the episode 1 of the other trilogy. It would be so confusing to the general public. And people would be going, what happened to this character? And the standalone would completely confuse the regular movie public. I think this replaces the trilogy for Rian Johnson, and it's extremely early, but I think Kathy's trying to save herself. It is the right play, though. And no way after two trilogies alternating year after year would that work. Now, I've also heard some rumors, maybe it's for the streaming service, but they already have a series going for that. You go for this, you pay this money to get these directors, you release it in the theaters. I want to hear you guys, though. Don't be silent now. Rant on, my friends. Tell me what you're thinking. And this is where I want to give to the shout out that started this episode, Design Jedi. Thanks again. I really enjoy your comments on the videos. And then it says, my biggest question to you, my friend, after watching this is what is this going to do for Disney? Are they going to change course? I think they have. I would like to see you do a video on the state of Rian Johnson's trilogy and the growing concern Disney has with the Star Wars franchise moving forward. I see some rumblings on the net, but I would like to get your take. And that's really what started. I kind of altered it because of this topic, because of recent news. But I really appreciate your comment because it got me started on this hot topic. And this is where I want to say, you don't have to follow me anywhere. All I would like from you is to join in the conversation and comment below. I'll try to respond and also rate this video. I want you all to have a great day. And let's all hope for better days for Star Wars fans. This may be a start, but it's early. Have a good one, guys.